Hey YouTube, Twig here, bringing you all an update to my Dinowrestler Yugioh deck profile for post-Dark Neostorm. Want to do an update to the deck. We actually haven't had any support for the set since Soul Fusion, but we've gotten a lot of support in Dark Neostorm for the Dinowrestlers, giving them fusion and synchro support, along with a new Link monster and a bunch of new main deck monsters as well. The whole point of the deck is kind of to limit your opponent on what they can do when your Dinowrestlers are attacking, along with their field spell, and a bunch of other cool new cards they have for the deck. So let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So to start off, for the Dinowrestler monsters, I run 3 Dinowrestler Pankratops, probably one of the best Dinowrestlers, and the sole fact that this card's been used for side deck and other decks as well, just for the fact that if your opponent controls more monsters than you do, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only special summon Pankratops once per turn this way, and as a quick effect where you contribute 1 Dinowrestler monster, then target 1 card your opponent controls, destroy it, and you can only use this effect of Pankratops once per turn. So normally you would be able to tribute, Pankratops himself, but you can also tribute other Dinowrestlers that you may have on the field as well, other than this card. It's just a really good 2600 attack point monster, an easy special summon since we do have a Link 2 Dinowrestler monster now, meaning you don't have to wait for your Link 3. You can special summon this card out, get out another Dinowrestler, and then go straight into your Link summon. So very, very helpful with those plays for sure. I also run 3 Dinowrestler Stegosaur. If this card is special summon, you can add 1 Dinowrestler monster or 1 World Dino Wrestling from your deck to your hand. And during the end phase, if this card is in the graveyard because it was sent there this turn and your opponent controls more monsters than you do, you can target 1 Dinowrestler monster in your graveyard except for Stegosaur and special summon it. You can only use each effect of Stegosaur once per turn. So you have special summon and search options with this card. The fact that it's also 1900 attack points is a big bonus for sure, like all the Dinowrestler monsters having some pretty good attack points compared to their defense, obviously. But 3 of this card I just help and feel it definitely does add for easy summons of monsters, and then that special summon and surge effect definitely does come in handy. And then I also run 2 Dinowrestler Capoeira Raptor. The attack position card cannot be destroyed by battle, and if this card is attacked, change it to defense at the end of damage step. And during your standby phase, if this card is in defense position, you can special summon 1 Dinowrestler Capoeira Raptor from your deck. You can only use this effect of Capoeira Raptor once per turn. So with our field spell, World Dino Wrestling, limiting to how many monsters can attack during a battle phase, you don't really have to worry about this card being destroyed again after it's destroyed by battle. And then putting it in defense definitely does set it up for that play for sure. I was debating if I wanted to run 3 or not. If I would take out the 1 Stegosaur to add in a 3rd one just to max out for the special summon option with this card. Other than that, I also run 2 Dinowrestler Capaptera. With this one, if your opponent controls more monsters than you do, you can target 1 monster your opponent controls, send it to the graveyard. You can only use this effect of Capaptera. Sorry about that. All the fighting name puns are really doing a number on me. If this card is sent to the graveyard as link material for the link summon of a Dinowrestler monster, you can activate this effect. The link monster that used this card's material gains 1000 attack until the end of this turn. So the fact, like I said, that we do have a Link 2 Dinowrestler now definitely does help for this play. You don't have to invest in your King T Wrestle for your Link play now that we have a Link 2, so much easier to use this card for its attack boost for sure. And then for some of the new Dinowrestlers, I run 3 Dinowrestler Eskremamenshi. Sorry about that. If you control a Dinowrestler monster, you can normal summon this card without tributing. And during your turn, if your opponent special summons a monster while this card is in your graveyard, except during the damage step, you can target 1 level 4 or lower Dinowrestler monster in your graveyard, special summon it, then add this card to your hand. You can only use the effect of Eskremamenshi once per turn. You have easy normal summon of this card. If you special summon out Pankratops, you can then easily normal summon this, but from the graveyard you just have more and more setup to recycle some of your monsters and then add this one back to your hand as well to normal summon again. So definitely a 3 of for sure of the new support. And then I also run 2 Dinowrestler Martial Anga. During damage calculation, when your Dinowrestler monster battles a monster with an equal or higher attack, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard. Your battling monster cannot be destroyed by battle, and also end the battle phase after damage step. And once per turn during the end phase, if this card is in the graveyard because it was sent there to activate this effect this turn, and your opponent controls more monsters than you do, you can special summon this card. So another easy special summon option. I really do like it for the hand trap. Mixed in with the field spell can really limit your opponent to what they did during the battle phase. Like I said, just like to run the two of this card though. Other than that, you really just want to set it up for the special summon play from the graveyard, so you don't really need any more than that, other than the fact that it does protect your other monsters from battle. But I find 2 of that number is plenty for the deck. And lastly, for the Dinowrestler cards, I run 1 Dinowrestler Yugioh. If you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. If summoned this way, this card cannot be used as a link material except for the link summon of a Dinowrestler monster. You can only special summon Yugioh once per duel this way. It's the one reason I run only 1 of this card, and the fact that we run Fossil Digs, you have plenty of options to search this card out to special summon out to the field. And the fact that it's a tuner, it's also used for our synchro play, for our Yugioh Spino Savate, which we run as well in the deck. Like I said, very, very cool that they were given the fusion and synchro options with this deck. So just wanted the tuner for those plays. And then for some of the more generic Dino support, back at 3 now off the ban list, 3 Miscellaneousaurus. This card just definitely helps for the protection from your hand of your Dinowrestler monsters, and the fact that you can banish this card from the graveyard if you build up a good amount of Dinowrestlers in the graveyard. Banishing them with this card to special summon out other ones from the deck just keeps your plays going for sure. And the fact that it destroys it at the end of the turn also gives us easy access to use 2 Baby Sarasaurus. This easy special summon definitely does help for our plays, just being able to special summon after it's destroyed from Miscellaneousaurus' effect. Just having one other Dinowrestler gives us the special summon option for this card, but then gives us options to special summon another dinosaur from our deck for more plays. And that is it for the monsters. Moving on to the spells, I run 3 World Dino Wrestling. This is the field spell. While you control a Dinowrestler monster, each player can only attack with 1 monster during the battle phase, and if you're a Dinowrestler monster attacks an opponent's monster, it gains 200 attack during damage calc only. And if your opponent controls more monsters than you do, you can banish this card from your graveyard to special summon 1 Dinowrestler monster from your deck, and you can only use this effect of World Dino Wrestling once per turn. So I like to set it up on the field. You only really need the 1 on the field though, so getting the other ones into the graveyard with cards like Foolish Burial Goods is another important play that I like to go for, especially with this deck. So once I set that up, my opponent usually either tries to destroy it, but most of the time they're more focused on the Dinowrestlers that I have on the field that they want to take care of. And I also run 2 of the new Tyrant Dino Fusion. It's a quick play spell. Fusion summon 1 Dinowrestler monster from your extra deck using monsters you control as fusion materials. If you do, the first time that face-up monster on the field will be destroyed by battle or card effect, it is not destroyed. So this is going for our Chimera T Rexel, which is our fusion monster. A very powerful fusion at that when we fusion it out. Just having the quick play gives us plenty of options as well for our fusion summons, so I like to run 2 of that card as well. And I also run the 3 Fossil Digs. Just being able to search out any of the level 6 or lower dinosaur type monsters from your deck to your hand definitely does help for your plays, especially with your cards. So 3 of it definitely needed in the deck. And just because I'm always 1 summon off with a lot of my plays, especially since the fusion has to use monsters you control, I run 2 double summon. Just being able to normal summon out that additional Dinowrestler definitely does help with a lot of your plays. And I also have the 1 Terraforming. I decided just to run 1 Terraforming just to help with the field spell search if I do need it. But other than that, I've decided that I would prefer to get the card into the graveyard if I already have it in my hand, which is why I decided not to run 2 Terraforming, but instead 2 Foolish Burial Goods, because that special summon for banishing the field spell from your graveyard definitely does come in handy, giving you Dinowrestler resources on the field to use. And then to finish off the spells, 1 Monster Reborn and 1 Foolish Burial, just easy special summon from the graveyard, and graveyard setup with cards to help Miscellaneousaurus out especially. And then for the traps, I run 2 back to the front. This just setting up some of your defense cards, especially for their plays, definitely does help for sure. And I also run 2 Torrential Tributes just for the card effect plays. So cards like Babysaurus, when it's destroyed by a card effect, gives you that special summon and takes care of your opponents as well. I didn't really want to run the Solemn Brigade since I just want to focus more on the destruction plays and the special summon plays that the Dinowrestlers could do for the deck to go for a more pure build of all those cards. And that is it for the main deck. We'll now move on to the extra. I have 2 King T Wrestles in the extra deck. This can actually, vary depending on how many of the Link 2 you want to run, but King T Wrestle, if this card battles and opponents cannot activate spell or traps until the end of damage step. Your opponent's monsters cannot target monsters for attack except at the start of your opponent's battle phase. You can target one attack position monster your opponent controls, and the battle phase your opponent cannot attack with monsters that basically has, and if it does, you declare an attack and destroy it at the end of the battle phase. You have definitely a lot of attack options available with King T Wrestle, with your opponent being not able to attack with other monsters until that one. So it limits your opponent and also works very well with the field spell. And I have the one Terra Parcorio in the deck. You need 2 Dino Wrestler monsters to make this card. Our link to, if you activate a World Dino Wrestling, you can target 1 Dino Wrestler monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand. And if this card is sent to the graveyard as link material, you can target 1 Dino Wrestler monster in your graveyard, special summon it in defense, but negate its effects. Also, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except for Dino Wrestler monsters. You can only use each effect of Terra Parcorio once per turn. But that link to recycle option definitely does help to also set up for some of our bigger link plays as well. I have the 1 Landfornicus in here just because I didn't have any other Terra Parcorio. Definitely a short printed card for me to find for those sneak packs. But if you wanted to vary, you can mix around your King T Wrestle numbers as well with your Parcorio. But if you wanted to stick it to 2 and 2, you could just take out the Landfornicus and put in the second Parcorio. But sometimes the Landfornicus, just with the fact that the Terra Parcorio does need Dino Wrestlers, and we do run other dinosaurs in the deck as well. It helps to keep it in sometimes, but if you just want to go for more of your Dino Wrestler link plays, you could take it out for a second Parcorio. I also run the 1 Mrs. Radiant just for some of the other Earth monsters we run with the deck, especially just an easy link summon to go for and then recycle your Dino Wrestlers. Also 1 Nightmare Cerberus and 1 Nightmare Phoenix. And then for the fusion monsters, I have 2 of the Dino Wrestler Chimera T Wrestle. If this card battles, your opponent cannot activate spell or traps. And at the end of damage step, if this card attacks a defense monster, inflict piercing battle damage. And your opponent's monsters cannot target monsters for attacks except this one. And if this card destroys a monster by battle and gains 500 attack, and if this card is destroyed by a card effect, destroy all of your opponent's attack position monsters. Excuse me about that, but that's just definitely a lot of effect for 1 fusion monster, having 3,500 attack as well, just needing a Dino Wrestler Link monster and a Dino Wrestler monster, which is why I decided not to run Polymerization. Instead, just stick to the Tyrant Dino Fusion for the fact that, Link monster has to be on the field. So most of the time with this card, to get out, you'll just want to use the resources you have available to you on the field, but a definite powerhouse for sure. And another powerhouse is also our Synchro Dino Wrestler, which is Giga Spino Savit. Sorry, I had to see the name since it was mixed in with the Synchro. If this card battles, your opponent cannot activate spell or traps, just like the Link and the Fusion, until the end of damage step, and your opponent's monsters cannot target monsters for attacks except this one. And also, once per turn, you can target 1 monster your opponent controls, destroy it, and if this card be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can destroy 1 card your opponent controls instead. So you definitely have other options with this. I only run the 1 though, since we only run the 1 of the tuner as well. Most of the time I like to go for the fusion options, but having the synchro option available also definitely does come in handy for sure. And to finish off the Exceed monsters, I have 1 Evil Tsar Logia and 1 Dolka, just other easy Dino Exceeds to make. Same with the Volcasaurus when you can get your level 5s out. And also just for more generic, 1 Abyss Dweller and 1 Tornado Dragon to finish off the extra deck. So that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed the video, especially for the fact that we've got a lot more Dino Wrestler support to mix and match. But like I said, I wanted to stick to as pure of a deck profile as I could, and I hope you all enjoyed the deck profile. Until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and Kira Twig out.